They all saw a cat. And do you see little Lucy peeking out? The cat walked through the world with its whiskers, ears, and paws. I know she. And the child saw a cat. Thank you, Ms. M. Appreciate that. And the dog saw a cat. Hello, Craig. And the fox saw a cat. Yes, they all saw the cat. The cat walked through the world with its whiskers, ears, and paws. Thank you, Jabberwocky's mom. And the fish saw a cat. And the mouse saw, you guessed it, a cat. And the bee saw a cat. Yes, they all saw the cat. The cat walked through the world with its whiskers, ears, and paws. And the bird saw a cat. And the flea saw a cat. And the snake saw a cat. And the skunk saw a cat. And the worm saw a cat. And the bat saw a cat. Yes, they all saw a cat. Yes, they all saw a cat. A child, and a dog, and a fox, and a fish, and a mouse, and a bee, and a bird, and a flea, and a snake, and a skunk, and a worm, and a bat. The cat knew them all, and they all knew the cat. Hello, Michelle. And the cat walked through the world with its whiskers, ears, and paws. Then it came to the water. And imagine what it saw. And that is the end of the book. All right. Next, we're going to read Sully the Seahorse. Down in the depths, below shimmering tides, lived a young seahorse who wanted to hide. Sully was so very tiny and small, he didn't feel very special at all. Oh, how he longed to be good at one thing. Sully just wished to be fast or to sing. Days were quite tough for the seahorse at school. He was known as a loser. Yes, sea life was cruel. Give me 1 second. I think my blood sugar's a little low, so I'm going to find some candy. Hi, guys. Nyota. I'm not going to look at you, Nyota. Hi. Hi. Hello, Alma. Sorry about that. Just give me a second while I eat a couple pieces of candy. Hopefully that'll make me feel a little better. Thank you, Norma. The day had arrived that Sully so feared. The others loved it and thought he was weird. What could be happening? Just what might it be? Waves of excitement whooshed fast through the sea. Daisy the dolphin was humming a note. Pufferfish Pete was fine-tuning his bloat. Practicing dance moves and tuning guitars. It was the annual games called Sea School Stars. The contest starts soon, reminded Miss Trout. Sully felt worried and started to shout, "Do I have to take part, miss? Please say no." "Yes," she replied. "You should give it a go." Honk went the horn. "Can you please get in, place?" Miss Trout said, "Time for the swimmer's big race." Sully cried, "No, I am going to lose." Daisy just laughed and looked very amused. On your mark, ready, get set, go! Sully set off, but he was moving so slow. Susie the swordfish shot into the lead, but ouch! Her long bill got caught in seaweed. Wilbur the whale was in first past the post. "Ah, I'm the winner," he started to boast. Sully so wished to be swift like the whales, with big wide flippers and super strong tails. "I'm not so special, I'm just not that fast." And yes, you guessed it, poor Sully came in last. Daisy, of course, won the singing cup match. Her notes were so piercing, Some turtle eggs hatched. Ollie was crowned Magician of the Year. Sully wished he could make shells disappear. Then it was time for the dancing contest. Miss Trout said, please can you do just your best? Sully decided to give it a try. He took a deep breath and tried not to cry. On your marks, ready, get set, go! Sully was dancing, but he had no flow. Just then a huge shadow cast a long dark cloud over the stage on the dancers and crowd. Poised up above was a boat hunting prey, hoping to grapple a catch of the day. Splash went the diver deep down into the sea, aiming to catch a young seahorse or three. These tiny creatures are wanted as pets. Watch out, little Sully, here come the nets. Closer and closer the diver did swim, heading for Sully, whose chances were slim. Then something quite simply stunning took place. Better than singing or winning a race. Sully changed color before their shocked eyes. Swordfish and dolphin just stared in surprise. On your marks, ready, get set, go! But this time, Sully wasn't so slow. As quick as a flash, his armor changed shade. He started to blend with the background and fade. Sully had camouflaged and turned a pale green. He hid in the sea reeds and couldn't be seen. The diver gave up. He paddled away, back to the boat with no catch of the day. Sully came out when it was safe and clear. All the sea creatures let out a big cheer. He took center stage. They looked on in awe. Master of camouflage, encore, encore. Changing from greens to be like the sea reeds, to sparkling bright blue as deep in the sea. For the very first time, Sully felt proud. Seahorses are special, he laughed out loud. From that day on, he no longer did wish to be a huge whale or a super fast fish. Sully was special. He wasn't so weak. Plus, he never lost at hide and seek. Please do not think you should win all the time. Just give your best and you'll sparkle and shine. We're all special in our own unique way. Believe in yourself, you will be okay. Don't be afraid to stand out from the crowd. You are amazing. Stand tall and proud. On your marks, ready, get set, go! And that is Sully the Seahorse. Next, we're going to read The Lighthouse Cat, one of Bonnie's favorite books. Stephen. The old lighthouse stood proudly on the very edge of the rocks and sparkled its message over every mood of the sea. Blue seeds lapped and whispered, green seas danced, and every once in a while black seas raged. The lighthouse was watched over by only a straggle of sugar cube cottages that balanced high up on the edges of the cliffs, crawling slowly down to a fishing village further along the bay. You could scramble down the slippery rocks, but the only easy way to the lighthouse was by boat. Well, over. Oh, no, that's Hensley. At the very top of the old lighthouse, the great 24-candle lantern sent its light nearly as far as the sky. At dawn, yawning, the lonely lighthouse keeper scanned the wide ocean for ships. Keeping the candles lit was his most important job. Without fail, his pocket watch would remind him to check the lantern light and trim the candle wicks every half an hour. It was well known that without the old lighthouse, the jagged, rocky coastline would be littered with shipwrecks. Every Friday, if the sea was friendly, a boat from the fishing village would bring supplies to the lighthouse keeper. On one particular Friday, he piled the boxes high on the round kitchen table and realized it was already time to check the lantern. Up he climbed to where the 24 candles glowed obediently. Sometimes the lighthouse keeper would try to make things more interesting and gallop up 3 steps at a time or hop down on one leg. But usually he plodded. Down he went, thinking of lunch, and suddenly rolled head over heels, thump, all the way down. Notice the eyes that are looking out here. So you're going to be hearing about him on the next page. There he found himself nose to nose with something. This something had bright yellow eyes and was swirled with stormy colors of silver, shadowy fish. When the something meowed, the lighthouse keeper chuckled and called him Mackerel. Then he laughed and laughed and laughed. This was the best thing in this week's groceries. The two had become inseparable. Little Mackerel would follow the lighthouse keeper everywhere. Up, down. Mackerel made friends with the seagulls and puffins and explored every nook of the rocky outcrop. He gazed at himself in the rock pools and quickly learned about the crabs and slippery seaweed. Mackerel knew how to scan the sea, and when he spotted a whale or a boat, he would tap the lighthouse keeper's nose or jump on his shoulder. Every night without fail, the two of them would go up to the very top of the lighthouse, watch the night seas, and keep the candles burning. Sometimes on sunny days, they would add another coat of paint to the lighthouse's red and white stripes, or sit on the very edge of the rocks and watch for dolphins. When the tide was really low, they would scour the beach and collect driftwood, so that on stormy days the lighthouse keeper could set to work on his curved and round furniture. Hello, Cat B. Once they even found a message in the bottle. The lighthouse keeper loved his lighthouse with its round rooms. Now he whistled and was never even the tiniest bit lonely. With Mackerel, the lighthouse was the best and only place in the world, and still without fail they would check the lantern light every half an hour. Every day and every night was the same, except for one. It was known and feared that in times of terrible storms the candles would blow out. One dark night, the black clouds gathered speed and whisked through the heavens. The sea leapt in a frenzy at the command of the storm. The waves rose even higher, and the moon kept blinking as it was buffeted by the wind. In one huff, the wind gathered all of its strength and blew out the candles in the lighthouse as if they were on a birthday cake. Now the lighthouse stood blind as the wind spiraled delightedly around. Shivering, Mackerel gazed hard at the sea, watching a small fishing boat disappear and reappear through the mountainous seas, ever drifting towards the jagged toothed rocks. Was that two eyes flashing at him from the boat? Where was the lighthouse keeper? For an instant the moon lit up Mackerel's yellow eyes, and he fled down, down, down. Then, out on the rocky outcrop, Mackerel saw the lighthouse keeper frantically waving a lantern. But the wind blew that out too, like a feather. Mackerel knew what he had to do. He sped up to the top of the lighthouse and caterwauled and screamed at the top of his voice to the heavens. For a moment the wind stopped to listen. Mackerel's yells reached the twitching ears of every cat sleeping in the cottages, dotting the high cliffs. Hello, Caden. Then 11 cats, also caterwauling and screaming, came slipping and sliding, running, jumping, and tumbling down the cliffside. In the chaos, plant pots crashed, fishing nets unraveled, and onions and potatoes bumped down the cliffs after them. That cat at the top looks like Gallant. Within minutes, 11 wet and wailing cats had sped up to the top of the lighthouse. Mackerel was waiting. One by one, each jumped up next to him and gazed at the thrashing fishing boat. All 12 cats called to the moon, and again the wind stopped to listen. The clouds parted, and the moon peeped through and reflected in the cat's eyes. At that very moment, the lighthouse keeper looked up in desperation. He saw 24 little lights at the very top of the lighthouse, where the lantern should shine. I don't know if you can see this. Let me see if I can bring it in. But you can see all the cats in the lighthouse with the reflection of their eyes. Surely the fishing boat must see them. Up, the lighthouse keeper ran. He watched wide-eyed. He hoped. He prayed. Then very slowly the little fishing boat turned miraculously away from the rocks. Again, Mackerel saw the two eyes flash back at him from the boat. The 12 cats all looked around and smiled. Much later, in a tumble-down cottage, another cat smiled too and warmed herself in front of the fire. The village people never knew about their cats that night. They still talk about the great storm and how their cat slept for a whole day and night afterward. How do I think Gallant will be moving? I think he'll be okay. When we moved from Virginia to Jersey, Virginia to Ohio, he didn't make a sound. So I'm probably going to do the same thing I did when I moved the 6 cats from Virginia to Ohio, and basically put them in, cover their carriers, and things like that. So I think we'll be okay. What would have happened had the Great Lighthouse Lantern blown out, they wondered. Little did they know. And guys, I'm not feeling real good today, so I'm going to cut it out a little early today. So after I finish this book, I hope you guys don't mind. For some reason, I'm just not feeling good. By Friday, when the sea was all its iridescent shades of blue again, the boat turned up with supplies. Mackerel felt sure he had seen the boat somewhere else, and when a cat the color of night with flashing eyes looked out and smiled, he knew where he had seen those eyes. Thank you, Jabberwocky's mom. Now, every night, whistling twice as loud, the lighthouse keeper still sits with Mackerel and his new friend. Thank you, everybody. Together they scan the sea and watch the glow of the great lantern creeping far and wide as the sun sets and the moon rises. So, I appreciate that. Thank you. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's my blood sugar. I try to eat a couple little mini candy bars, but it doesn't seem to be working, and I'm just tired for some reason. But it also doesn't help that I started work at 6:30, and I didn't finish until 5:30, so I'm kind of wiped out. All right, everybody. Again, I apologize. We'll be doing this again. Yeah, I'll be all right. I'm only like 4 miles away, so I should be okay. I'll be sitting down, have the AC on. So, all right, everybody, you have a good night. Again, I apologize for bailing out of here so early. Hi. I see you. Steven.